right? I mean, I know winning games is better than losing games, but there's no...
I mean, I think what you're asking, is there any predictive value from it? Yeah. And I can't find any. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're playing with, everybody's playing with like 50-man rosters, and there's you're not playing to win the games. You're playing to prepare players. You know, is the best thing I tell you.
The games are so often decided by guys wearing 90s. You know, we see that a lot.
Well, that's the end of the games. Yeah.
The couple of injuries aside, was it a successful camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're leaving in a good spot. I think, you know, I mean, we anticipate having injuries. You know, you have to anticipate having injuries, and so you prepare for them, and that's part of depth. You know, largely on the position player side, you know, because catcher's a little bit of sits on its own island a little bit, as far as versatility, you know, goes. We're healthy on the position player side, and that's, you know, going to take us into the regular season with a really deep position player group, and so you know, it'll be, you know, we're gonna have a lot of good choices every day.
Craig, as much as you hate as manager breaking bad news to guys, what was it like with like Brent Suter? You know, he's especially his story. I mean,
Yeah.
Late round draft pick out of Harvard and worked his butt off, and he's so different the way he does things.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's what I told Brent is that it's not, you know, Brent, and I'm going to go back to this now, so I'm going back and forth on you guys a little bit. But Brent's an out-getter, you know, and he's earned the right to do this for us. I think that's the big thing with the way he pitched last season, and really he pitched pretty well for us in 2016 at the end of the year as well. So, you know, he's earned this. That's how I you know, broke the news to him, really, and he's continued to get outs in the big leagues. And he's done a really good job of getting outs in the big leagues, and it's been a pretty consistent. You know, he's been consistent at it as well. So that's what's earned him this opportunity. And you know, he's diligent and kind of always thinking about what's next. You know, sometimes we got to keep him focused on just kind of be good what you're great at a little bit, but he's always trying to figure out what he can do better and what's next for him to take another step.
He told me, you know, because he doesn't really take anything for granted, despite what you said about his past success. He said when he got called in here, he wasn't sure what the news was going to be.
Yeah.
And that when you said third game in San Diego, he just said you don't want to like fly out of the seat to go yes.
Yeah.
But he said he felt like doing it.
Well, that's I like sharing good news. Believe me, I don't want to share bad news with guys all the time. So yeah, I mean, I thought we did get to share some good news with Suter and Woodruff for sure yesterday. So that's, you know, you're there, but it's, you know, again, this sets our roster for, you know, really a day, you know, a day when we set our roster, and that's how it works. And then the contributors, we know you guys can go back in the short history that we've been here. The major contributors cannot be here on that first day.
There's a lot of benchmarks in baseball though, and lining up on that foul line on opening day is one guys never forget.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's no question, and we all understand the importance of that, and how it's meaningful and it's symbolic, you know, to make an opening day roster.
What was your first? Where was it?
Well, so this is, yeah, I mean, my first opening day roster came after I'd won a World Series.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a letdown.
Yeah.
Hey, what a letdown.
Yeah, it was, frankly. It was the 98 Marlins. We weren't very good.
They
Wow.
gutted the team, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good day for those guys for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's both of them. It's a step forward for both of them.
Yeah.
And it's a step forward that they've earned, but for the major league player like those two guys, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. Woodruff would be available in the pen for the whole Padres series, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't enter because he's still got several days.
No, I think I would anticipate through Monday.
Through Monday. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, through Monday.
So
yeah.
he's your length in the bullpen, isn't he, as you start?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly capable of delivering length. Yeah. Yeah.
Craig, is Jacob Barnes still one of those guys that you talked about, the group that I don't know how to.
Jacob's going to start the season with us.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's exactly what I was asking.
Yeah.
He got his head spinning again yesterday after the game with that. He said, "You'll see why I said 5 for 4 instead of 5 for 3." He's trying to figure out what's going on.
Good.
Does he have? He pitches today, obviously. Does
Yeah.
he get any more in
Yeah, we'll kind of see how today goes, and then make that decision. Actually, we're gonna be a little flexible with that one.
Got it.
Yeah, because he'd be 3 out of 4 days. He'd pitch Tuesday if he was going to pitch, and we may pitch him, but real short would be if we did. That's how we do it.
You're kind of going on history here, right? He's had springs in the past that didn't look great, but he's performed for him in the regular season.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to start it. Yeah, yeah.
Craig, even if Choi doesn't make your opening day roster, what
Right.
impact has he had in camp for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that's opened all of our eyes. I mean, I think we were aware that he had if you look at his AAA season last year, it opens your eyes. And then the at-bats that we've seen this spring really, to me, solidify that season. It's an advanced hitter with a great knowledge of the strike zone, difficult at-bats, whoever the pitcher is, a really professional at-bat. So, we feel like this guy's got the capability of doing damage in the major leagues with that, especially with the ball strike discernment. It works. That works.
He's another guy who's really enjoyed it in there too.
He's got a very engaging personality, and knows how to have fun, and he knows how to be serious in the batter's box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a top surprise of camp, you might be it, huh?
Let's see. I haven't thought about it like that.
Some teams, I saw the Yankees.
I'd say. He probably surprised. He surprised. I mean, I think it was a guy that we were very excited to sign. So, probably of them. I guess we signed J.J. Hoover as a minor league free agent, but played in the big. But G-Man played in the big leagues last year. I mean, he had 120 at bats in the big leagues last year, more than Brett Phillips. So he had quite a few at bats in the big leagues last year. So he's not. We just didn't know much about him because he's been in the American League. We've never seen him. He's been west or east, so we just haven't seen him. Haven't seen him in spring training, really,
On the pitching side, maybe Hoover? Not that it doesn't surprise that he performs, but to have a nearly flawless.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I think JJ's had a nice camp for sure. Yeah, he's definitely had a nice camp. I mean, I think I think Jeremy Jeffers had a good camp.
Josh Hader.
I think Josh Hader's had a really good camp. So
Hader, I'm sure.
I'm encouraged by Junior Guerra's camp. I really am. I know he's on the kind of the other side of the news, but I'm encouraged by that he had a camp that hopefully he can build on a little bit going into the season. I mean, Oliver's been good. He's added some things and cleaned up some things in his repertoire. I think there's some things that he needs to get going a little bit still, but you know, I mean, Oliver's got tools to get hitters out. There's a little consistent. He's had some consistency issues in the past, but he certainly has tools to get guys out.
Mostly like walking people has been his hurt him, right?
That's been part of it. I mean, he struggled against right-handed hitters a little bit too.
Weird, isn't he? He's a reverse split guy.
Yeah, and those guys are valuable though. I mean, they are valuable. Because yeah, I mean, you're looking for right-handers to get, you know, right-handers that get left-handers out. You need somebody to get left-handers out, you know,
what
in the bullpen. You know, I think we probably saw the last couple months what we could do with Josh, and I think we'll have that for the whole season. It's, you know, the challenge with Josh is really going to be, the challenge for me is to keep him in a place where he's fresh, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be able to look at the game every night and say, we could pitch Josh Hader here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
You're
going to want to, aren't you?
Is it Mike Marshall that has the record still?
So I think, you know, that's and then you guys will be asking often, is Josh Hader available, like regularly? So we'll have that conversation. We can look forward to that conversation.
Yeah.
Well, but all kidding aside, will you have to guard against abuse? You know, because he.
Well, I don't.
Let's use a different word.
Yeah.
Heavy use.
Thank you.
Heavy use.
Thank you.
Heavy use. Let's just forget that. Heavy use. Will you have to like be careful?
No, you don't have to be. You know, it'll work itself out. Yeah.
But the hard part with
you just
him,
kind of know. It's like art. You'll know when you see it.
Yeah.
That he's.
Yeah.
Isn't the hard part with him is that he's always going to say yes, or is he a guy?
No, but I think No, I don't think he is always going to say yes, and I think always saying yes doesn't. I'm going to quit asking if you're always going to say yes. You know, so it's better to have you know, a little more honest feedback with that. But I think I know him well enough now that we know the right situations and you know, I strongly believe that keeping relievers fresh aids in their performance. So it's always something that we got to keep an eye on and make sure we're diligent and kind of doing. And that means you know, they got to share the innings down there, and you can't just rely on 3 guys. You know, you need an 8-man bullpen. You know, 7 to 8 guys for the bulk of the year carrying the load.
You waited a long time last year to use them back to back, but do you feel comfortable now that you can and you need to? Like,
yeah, you know, the question is always going to be with Josh. It's like, you know, 6 outs and days off, or back to back and 3 outs. That's the question.
That's
you know,
not easy.
5 to no, and that's right. So that's the question that we're gonna have to answer, and sometimes the game, you just have to answer the question. The game will tell you what the answer to the question is.
Sometimes you can't worry about tomorrow, right?
Right, and that's the point, is that that's how you approach it. And I think the other thing the way I see it a little bit is if we the longer stints means he's going to pitch more innings, get more outs. He'll be available less exactly when he want him to, but he'll hopefully impact bigger chunks of games.